We are actually at the moment in chapter 5 to 10. Here, the little bride who has come is not little anymore, and she's turned 16 and she's becoming bolder. She takes over the entire household, and she's looking after the food of everybody at home, makes choices for Jojo, her stepson, and does the entire work of the house. And she's actually a bit concerned about her mother, and she keeps thinking why her mother is not responding to her letters, and she thinks maybe and there is something wrong. She gets this feeling that something is actually wrong, and her mother actually sends her a letter saying that mm, just pleasantries and not talking anything about herself. So she thinks her mother is really suffering. That's why she's not mentioning anything about herself. So this is lingering in the back of the mind. And one more thing she is not happy with that is there is not even a Bible in the house, and she has been raised to be a devout Christian. And then she looks for Bible. She couldn't find any, and then she tells her husband one day after cooking him a delicious meal for him. She asks him that. I would like to go to church. Then he says, okay. And then he takes her to church. And that day, when what happens is her birthday comes, and then he gifts her earrings. Earrings, it's called kunuk, gold kunuk. Sorna kunuk, it's called in Malayalam. So that earring actually is placed here, this part of the ear, not here. So this both sides here, it's placed. It's called kunuk, and she always wanted to have that, but she couldn't really afford where her mother was living, where she when she was with her mother, they couldn't really afford it. So she was very happy, and now she turns into a beautiful young girl, and she's a bit more mature, and then the marriage is consummated, and she's being treated by him as a wife who is looking after his son as well. So and one day she says that see, I want to see my mother. And then he immediately goes and brings her mother to their house. Her mother comes, and then she talks to her, and now she's like a little girl, and her daughter is the one who is looking after her. She looks at her daughter and she says, "You definitely are pregnant," and she was pregnant, in fact. So meanwhile, she's happy her mother is there, and Jojo, her stepson, he's always got a problem with having a bath. He doesn't like water at all, and he's always prancing about, jumping from one tree to another. And she delivers a baby, and the baby daughter is called Baby Mole. Mole means daughter, so baby daughter. Till a proper name is announced or decided, this was what they were calling her. So Jojo becomes a little bit jealous because he's not getting the same attention he used to get, and Baby Mole is actually very close to his mother, whom he lovingly calls Big Amachi. And however, what happens is that now the man of the house, his brothers' sons are settled there nearby. And he gives away some land to them, and the land, they construct a house, and now these two big families, and the children are settled there, children. And they're all younger than Jojo. So Jojo goes and spends a lot of time there and tries to play with these young kids because now his bigger machi is busy. So most of the time he's there, and then he's prancing about from one tree to the next. So one day, while he was prancing about from one tree to the next, he's showing off to the kids. See, this is how you do a backflip and land on your feet. And then the rainy season comes, and it's raining for 2 days continuously. It's raining. Now the children all get a little bit bored, 2 days of rain and no sun. And then next day is very bright. So now what Jojo does is, now is the time to go out and play, and all the kids and Jojo and everybody, they go together there outside. And Jojo, what he does is, as usually, wants to show off to the young kids. He tries to hold a vine there. The wine is quite slippery because of the rain, and then he tries to swing on it and do a backflip on that, on try to land on his feet. So when he does that, he slips and he falls into a water ditch which is full of water face down. And then he's sort of suffocated, and he tries to move his hands, and he lays still after a while. Now the kids think he's joking around, and what the kids do is they suppress laughter, and then when he's not getting up to play, they go rushing to his mother, Bigammachi, and they tell Jojo doesn't want to play anymore. He's in the water, he's in the ditch, he's not getting up. So this girl, first she thinks maybe she doesn't take it seriously. Then suddenly she realizes something, and she runs to there. And then she flips the boy's face around, and tries to wake him, say, breathe, breathe, breathe. But he has passed away. So the days that follow is of acute sadness. Her husband is very sad, he's passed away, and she feels distraught that the little boy whom she has come to love as her own is no more there. And suddenly she realizes something, and then she goes to husband, and he asks, what is the condition? What is it? What is this condition? Tell me, tell me. And then what he does is, with a sad face, he goes to the roof where some papers are kept, and he takes the wad of papers and gives it to her. She opens the papers, and she sees that there is a list of names and the reason how they have died through water. And she's stunned when she looks at them. And she also realizes that her husband cannot read. He cannot read anything. He's illiterate. And she says, you should have told me. I would have tried to protect Jojo. This would not have happened. He gets angry as a father, as a husband, as a head of the family. And then he says, I would not have changed anything for Jojo, because I was not allowed to go through the waters to the church, to the school, and I'm illiterate. And my brother, actually, he cheated me of the land because I'm an illiterate. I don't want anything like that for Jojo. And the last few years, he has lived like a tiger. He's always very active boy. And this girl, Ammachi, Big Ammachi, as she was called by Jojo, she says to God, she has these talks to the God all the time, and she says, you could have taken, I could have given my baby mole for Jojo. And then she, of course, that is not possible. And she's distraught. Now, she was afraid that baby mole would have passed on whatever this condition or the curse to the next generation. So that is where we stand at the 10th chapter.